the subdivision on site
It-
for the Cornwall subdivision.
It's a weird shape thing. I mean, it's narrow, but it's really weird. There's like a piece of land that's right in the corner where you turn off the highway. That's, I don't think totally unusable. I think it narrows down to about this wide.
I think that's the piece that wanted the exception. There's a variance, not an exception, a variance that we're requesting.
Go for it, Christine.
Oh, okay, we're good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our May 11th staff meeting. We will start with warrant review and approval. Misty, anything that we need to be aware of?
No, it looks like it's something with wax. I gotta find it.
Okay, for the public health.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll give Misty a chance to look at that. Any other questions on page 1? Page 2? Page 3? Page 4? And then airport. Did you find it, Misty?
It looks like it's, he comes in. Well, it says wax paint.
West Bank.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I was the one who asked that question beforehand, and I think all it is, if I'm understanding correctly, when you actually go into Wax Bank, is it looks like it says public health instead of public works, maybe. Maybe just somebody at number.
Gotcha.
That would be my guess.
This in here.
No, no, maybe.
It's the fuel,
County.
it's in right above county. Right, no, you're on the
Yeah,
right.
that was right, so
Right there.
That says public health.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Wording.
That's what I thought too.
We'll just give Misty a sec.
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
So, yes, Commissioner Rizzi.
While we're waiting, I'd like to commend Road and Bridge. They got really good line power on fence and bars. Haven't seen them that cheap in a long time. They bought 6 pairs. I think it was like $16 a pair, something like that. It's pretty good.
Okay. And I'm wondering, that we could maybe just, since the fuel's already been paid for, approve this. And then if it needs to be cleared up, we could stick something on the consent agenda or, yeah. Misty.
Well, it hasn't been, but I'm trying to find.
We can start with staff and elected if you want us to, Misty, and come back to
Okay,
a motion on that.
all right.
That sounds fine.
Sorry, and that's, since we're all watching you.
That's fine.
Mark, good morning.
Morning, Commissioners, Park Creek County Planner. As you'll recall, we did a little report on the de-annexation for the Rangers. The applicant on that has since decided not to pursue it, so it's a lot of talk and a lot of action, and lo and behold, he's thinking being in the town of Dayton's okay, so. P and Z met Thursday with the 3 items. The Alley CUP, the Dietz Legacy Home Subdivision, the Ziegler Lot Area Variance, and all 3 of those will come forward with a recommendation for approval. You'll consider those on June 2nd. Also on June 2nd, you'll have Coltisca Parcel Division. So we have an area that was recently rezoned to rural residential, and they're proposing to divide that into 2 parcels, so. We're having a site visit tomorrow out to proposed development out east of Dow Road and north of 335 out there. It's a pretty big area, so if you're interested, we're gonna gather out there at 10 o'clock, so we might be here at 9:30 if anybody wants to ride along. Sure will.
Got it on the calendar.
All right, so anyway, that's all I've got. If you have any questions.
Any questions?
Right ahead.
Thank you, Mark.
Madam Chair, Mark, I
Yes.
think we're all doing a site visit at the Conley subdivision
Oh,
today,
okay, cool,
3 separate times.
okay. Yeah.
So we're all doing that this afternoon.
All righty. If
Yeah.
you have any questions on that, I finished my staff report for last week, if you're interested in seeing that. So, anyway,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Great, thank you, Mark. Ken?
Morning, Ken Muller, County Engineer. Just want to give you some updates on the projects. Red Grade Road is awarded and the seat has been issued. So that contractor is under contract. Contractor is Steve Manning Construction. And they was able to award all the schedules, so the entire thing's awarded, that parking lot also, the improvements to that, so. Don't know we'll have a pre-construction meeting and that'll give us all the details on their schedule. The project goes till November 2027, so they could either kind of slow play it, it might not be too much impact to traffic this year and then really hit it hard next year, or just vice versa, still try to hit it hard with finishing up next year, so. But until we know, have sit down with them and get all the particulars, then us and the Forest Service are gonna do a big media campaign pledge, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's good. East Ridge Road, bid opening's Thursday. So we'll know Thursday and see what that project, a lot of interest in that project. And I think things are gonna come in pretty good. So kind of a nice little project for contractors. So Road and Bridge is out doing maintenance and dust control, as you guys probably know, they'll continue on and keep going, so. Don't have anything else.
Madam Chair, so Ken, yesterday I drove all the way through Soldier Creek to Dayton and they did the dust control on that last week and man, they did a great job. It's really smooth and really looks good. And it was funny, we had that big cloud burst there and hail and so on Saturday for a little while. And about an hour later, I went to town and it was already pretty much cleared off. I mean, it really is working and it really good. So just commend the crew for that.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Ken, on the East Ridge Road, you were talking about bids. Do you know when they might actually start that project?
Yes, that project is an October completion this year, so they'll have to get started right away. You know. It's that realignment of the north end, so there's some earthwork there, but then the rest of it's just a little bit of widening and shaping the rest of the road, and that's ready to be. So.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Ken, when is the pre-construction meeting on the Red Grade? Do you have
Hasn't
a
been
date?
scheduled yet.
No date?
No, it's hasn't been scheduled.
Right.
And I offered rooms here, if they want to do it in person, they can do it Zoom. We don't know if it's like, I hope they do it in person.
Oh, I hope so too.
Yeah, probably do 210 down here, you know, so. But
Any other questions? Thank you, Ken. Misty? Oh.
So the amounts are right and should, instead of saying public health, it should say public works. It's in the correct account.
Got it. Okay, with that question answered, I would look for a motion to approve the warrant.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the warrants with the one Wex Bank fuel for public health moved to public works.
Second.
Motion in a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Misty.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Just to clarify the motion, it's going to stay under the county attorney budget where it is, it's just correcting the order.
It's actually county
It was under
engineer.
county engineer.
County engineer,
Correct. It's in the right place. It's
it's in
just,
the right place.
just needs to swap the name out.
Just need the name public health needs changed to public works.
Yes, that's what Misty told us.
Yep. Okay,
My apologies, I didn't hear that in Nick's thing, and then of course I
Okay.
didn't say it right, so
all right,
my apologies.
no problem. We got her. Thank you.
No, Madam Chair. Clerk Thompson, anything else?
Yes. Thompson County Clerk. So with the election calendar, this week we do have a couple of deadlines we're working on. We are going to have the proclamation for the primary election published in the paper this week per statute. And we are also looking forward to the last day of registration changes being the 13th. This is where people who are currently registered can make changes to their party. So we have seen a lot of traffic for that. My apologies. And then candidate filing, of course, starts on May 14th, which is Thursday, and goes through May 29th. And of course, that's statewide. So we are ready for that as well. And just as a reminder, if you're filing for municipalities, you will be filing with your city or town clerk. And if you're filing in the county, you file with your county clerk and so on and so forth. But just a reminder for the city and towns to file with their city or town clerk, and they're ready. I delivered candidate packets to them as well. We've got candidate packets ready to go for the county candidates as well. And this is also when precinct men and women also file for office. They are exempt from the filing fee, but this is also their time to do that as well. And so we've met with the party, both parties, major parties, and they're ready for that. So it should be a lot of traffic, especially with as many precinct men and women and interest that we have in our county. There's in some counties not as much interest, but we usually have a lot of races with precinct men and women. So that's moving forward. And then the budget, requested budget is almost completed. I'm very thankful to Deb and everything that she's done to put this together. And I'll be delivering that to you on May 13th, which is this week. So you'll be getting those binders. You'll notice the binders when you get them on Wednesday that the first sheet is very much a working sheet. Something similar that you saw with GPET, where you'll be able to see the columns and you'll be able to actually very clearly track what's passed and what's not passed. It is line by line of whatever, to be able to track it. We're gonna have it up on the screen, much like Mr. Duff did. And only if you actually vote on something, if it's a line item or the entire budget will be entered into that column, as well as you can do that as well. But we'll show you that on the screen and as we move ahead. So whatever's been not voted on at the first meeting, officially proposed will be blank until your second, and so on. So looking forward to that, and it'll be a lot less paperwork this year because you'll be able to do that working copy in the front of your binder, and we'll do it up on the screen. So that'll be the 13th. I think that's all I have.
Any questions for Clerk Thompson? Okay, thank you. Diana? Okay. Hi, Katie. Jesse?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jesse, Sheriff County Emergency Management. I want to let you know a couple things. First, FEMA did complete their FEMA review from their FEMA Review Council. Took them about a year. It's an extensive process, so they outlined a lot of changes and recommendations during that. So the project itself, or the document, will go to the legislature and to the president for those recommended changes. I will forward you the copy from the director that has the actual full report, and then there's shortened PowerPoint.
basically, they want to take FEMA and reduce it significantly in size, and then take those resources, push them to the state, and then directly make each of the local emergency managers responsible for response for any kind of disaster, and with FEMA just being a support role. So that basically will mean there's going to be a lot more work for my office and trying to do preparedness and stuff like that. So it's going to be required on the front end to be able to get these grants. The grants are going to be held at the state instead of FEMA, and just a lot of changes. So again, this is all preliminary report, but we do expect that a lot of this will get passed and sent to the president for approval. So just so you're aware of those possible changes coming forward. And then also the Gillette Airport has asked for me to come out and help be an evaluator on June 10th. So I'm seeking your approval to travel there to be able to do that. They did come and assist us with our airport exercise a few months back. And also I'm required to do 5 exercises a year as part of my job. So this would count as one of them, but I do need approval to travel outside the county. So I'm here requesting that now.
Any concerns? Can we give the nod? I think it's great.
I have no concerns.
Sounds good.
Great. Appreciate the heads up, and thanks for the heads up on some of those regulatory changes. I think local control can be a better thing in terms of efficiencies. But it's nice to have, the state and federal support still kind of in the background.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that the state itself is we've been pushing to kind of create response teams on the state level so that emergency managers can get together and respond to a county that's in an emergency. We've been pushing that for a few years. I think they're gonna push forward with that, especially with maybe some more funding and stuff like that, so that we're kind of running those teams kind of like we saw with the Elk Fire, but using local emergency managers around the state to maybe do that. And that'll just keep local control, but still, it'll be a bit more work on.
Yeah,
on
sure.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Jesse. Nothing? Robert?
Morning, Robert Gill, Sheridan County Airport Manager. Getting final contract documents in place with Wagner Ranch Services for expanded long-term parking lot. It is looking like we could get that project started as early as next Monday. Also opened up bids for the replacement fire truck. Got 2 bids, one from Rosenbauer. Excuse me, and one from Oshkosh. Bids looked good. Oshkosh was a little bit. Excuse me. Oshkosh was a little bitter. So bids looked good there. So I'll be waiting concurrence from the state FAA on that and bringing consideration of award to you guys.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
Any questions for?
We should
Thank
let
you.
him know so he doesn't have to cough some more.
Right. Thank you.
Robert. Eric, anything this morning? Kimber?
Morning, Kimber Stolberg, Fairgrounds Director, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Just wanted to give some brief updates on some upcoming events since this seems to be our season. Fairgrounds look amazing. If you have a chance, I invite you to drive through. If you want a tour, please stop in. But the grounds really look good. One of the painting projects that's been taking place is just to make things more crisp. So the bollards, the fire hydrants, some of the rails are being painted, and we're just trying to freshen everything up so that there's a nice high contrast to get going into this season. So we've got a great crew, as I brag about every time, but it seems like our crew just gets better and better, and we're starting to fine tune lots of different things. I want to publicly thank Whitney Benefits for sponsoring the water usage up at the fairgrounds. They've done this since before I got there, and I just wanted to publicly thank them. They are very willing and help keep our fairgrounds looking green and pretty. The Jordan World Circus comes to town on Friday, and they have they have performances on Friday and Saturday. And I encourage people to go direct to their links to buy tickets. We all know there's some nefarious activity going on, and if you buy a ticket on Facebook, nobody can guarantee if that's accurate or not. And they'll have plenty of tickets at the ticket booth as well, but they're coming to town and excited for that. I wanted to let you know that the high school morning announcements will now include a segment, hopefully for the next week or so, however long they're in school. The speed limit on the fairgrounds is much lower than on the streets. So at the high school, I talked with the principal and he's going to announce that. And then if it continues, we're trying to catch those folks and do accordingly what needs to be done. But most of it's speeding through on that road and then doing some nice cookies in the parking lots. So hopefully it's curtailed, I guess is the best way I can say it. During county fair this year, we are doing the Americana display to promote the 250th birthday of our nation. And just wanted to let you know that it's coming together. Each of the 4-H clubs will have a booth in the historic pavilion, and they are committed to decorating that. The invitation has been extended to the FFA chapters, and maybe once they get through the end of the school year, we'll hear back from those advisors on that. Other entities that are involved are the Sheridan Library, the Historic Preservation Commission, the Chamber, Travel and Tourism, Museum of the Bighorns, Sheridan Inn, City of Sheridan, and the Old Tractor Pullers. So it's starting to come together, and I think it will be a really neat display up at the county fair. There's some other things coming, but as those progress, I will let you know on those. Again, for any of the folks who operate daycares, we will offer guided tours by the 4-H clubs on Friday, July 31st. It was a review last year. It was a small group, but it was very powerful. And the 4-H clubs got as much of it out of it as did the daycare. So we're appreciative of that. And then I wanted to let you know, because there's a lot of activity here with folks coming to sign up for the elections and that I added more open class books to the outside of this boardroom. So if those get low, just let me know and I will extend those appropriately. I know some of you travel to places. If any of you would like to take some of those open class books, please let me know and we'll get you those copies that you need. And that's all I have.
Okay, great. Any questions for Kimber? Yeah, thank you, Kimber.
Thank you.
I was gonna say something about, gearing up there, but you guys are busy all the time.
Yeah.
Kelly? Kenny?
Madam Chair.
Sheriff Dominguez?
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Levi Dominguez, Sheridan County Sheriff. Two things. First, we had the Bighorn Soccer Cup this weekend out at the Equestrian Center. I think all went well. I forgot to mention it a couple weeks ago, but we opted and elected, working with the Bighorn Soccer Cup, and to not close any roads or make it a one-way. It was too confusing the last few years with not having the private property to do an exit out that way. And from talking to a lot of folks, went smoother, not as confusing. It did take a little bit longer. On Sunday, we noticed the lines, but it was constantly moving. And regardless if you brought 2 lanes into the equestrian center, you still got bottlenecked up and was stopped inside a little bit. And so it's a parking issue once they get in there. I think we had a counter Sunday, and I think there was just under 1,600 vehicles between 6:30 and 9 a.m. So that's how many vehicles went through there in 2.5 hours. So I think everything went well. We'll continue to do that, but with how it is and only one way in, one way out, that's as good as you can kind of get. So the second is that we had a vacancy within our full-time control. And so I'm asking, due to the hiring freeze, if we can fill that position. It was budgeted for this fiscal year, and so just asking to fill that full-time position in the control.
I would look for a motion to fill sheriff's position.
So,
Thank you.
Second.
With motion a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Levi. Clint? Cameron?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, good morning. Just one item. There was several of us who attended the conference call last Thursday with the Wyoming Court Security Commission. Sheriff Dominguez was on that call, as was all three judges. This is dealing with this courthouse security, the legislative session this past year. They did go ahead and allocate to 3.2 million for 9 or 10 counties in the north here for courthouse security. Our portion that was awarded was $300,420 as the state portion, $33,380 for the county, for a total of $333,800. It's a 90-10 split. This is based off of an assessment that was provided last year. It is not part of public record as it's dealing with security. I'm just letting you know that the courts wanted us, or the Supreme Court wanted us to go ahead and let the commissioners know of the 90-10 requirement. The grant application is based off of that assessment. It'll open June 1st, close August 31st, with award with letters coming out in September. And then you have until June 30th of 2028 to complete the work. So this is just a heads up. I have nothing for you to sign or anything today. They just wanted you to be aware of them. Any questions?
So good.
Yeah.
On our 10%, the 33,000, do you have an idea of what fund that might come out of?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Jennings, this cannot be in kind, it must be cash. And you have two choices. You can either use just regular cash, that's the general fund equity, or you can dip into the reserves, which is for this courthouse repairs that are in there. These are capital projects, it's not people, so it is a physical repair or installation, so that reserve could fit. I'm not sure what to tell you or recommend at this point, because it's too early, but it must be in a cash contribution.
So Cameron, when you talked about the application, we know what our allocation can be. Is this just the process to say, yes, we actually want this funding, or is it competitive, or explain that? Like, how did that, yeah.
It is not competitive. It is more of, we had a report, that report got sent to the Supreme Court. They are giving judges and the sheriff options. You can follow everything that's in that report and do it to the letter, and that would be the 333,000. Or you could say, not quite sure, want this, we have something else in mind. And as long as you can justify it, the court will consider that. So they're giving some options to the judge.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions for him? No? Commissioner Jennings?
I will be out this Friday, other than that.
Okay.
I
Commissioner
don't have any.
Commissioner Orsay, I had a chance to stop in at Public Health. And it sounds like they got 5 folks one of the days out in Claremont, but nobody the second day. I didn't know if you had been out there during that. I don't know, are we calling it a health fair?
No, it was a conflict. I wasn't able to get to that.
Gotcha.
I'll be down there Wednesday, coffee.
Yeah, I just thought there'd be more folks that would have shown up if Public Health's
Yeah,
going
there was
out
a lot of
there.
interest in it.
Yeah.
When we were down there, though.
Nobody day 2. All right.
Hey,
Commissioner Siddle?
Well, I did go to the Forest Service Steering Committee meeting in Graybull last Thursday. And they will be providing a full set of the minutes, so I'll put those in the file. But just some of the things that I think just kind of highlights. First of all, the big fire that was in Hot Springs County last year, they lost a lot of rangeland that they've got to let set this year. So the Bighorn National Forest is actually going to allow some grazing on the Medicine Wheel allotment for some of those Hot Springs County ranchers and try and help them out. And I think that's a really positive thing. The letter that we wrote on the Medicine Wheel project was well received. And it appears as if that project, if there's not complete consensus, it will be a no-go. And so it was pretty well agreed by everybody there. There probably wasn't gonna be complete consensus. So anyway, the other thing that was of interest that we've looked at is the moose study that they did on the Bighorn Mountains with the critical habitat and parturition areas. And they presented that study and it was really interesting. So when they got done, I asked the question, I said, so what does this mean for the public? Are we gonna be held up from fishing in areas and doing stuff? And the Forest Service made it quite clear that it's really cool. They have the report. They have no objective to do anything to public use at this point. So I thought that was a positive thing. And there is gonna be 2 ranchers that are gonna try and do the virtual fencing thing on the mountain this summer. So that's pretty exciting, I think, to see how that works out. And one of them, they're gonna put up some towers. The other one, they're gonna use the halter program that goes directly to satellite, so they don't have to have towers. So anyway, that was interesting. The state WCCA Board of Directors meeting is this Wednesday through Friday in Portland. I'm scheduled to go, except my wife is perhaps scheduled for some surgery on Thursday, so I've got to figure that out first and then go from there. So, but it's all good.
Just to go off of what Commissioner Siddle was talking about, I was able to go to the Ranchers Night Out on invasive grasses, and there were one of the individuals who's there, Ann Ranke, who is doing the fence, the harnesses, was there, and I was talking to him about the possibility of when they get more information on it, how it's worked, maybe to come and do a presentation for us. So.
Yeah, the technology's come a long ways, not needing towers anymore and being able to do it via satellite.
Yeah.
It's become a lot more affordable and.
Madam Chair, the
Yeah.
one concern I have is battery life on those. That I haven't heard yet, but
Yeah.
if they can get them batteries to last constantly in 6 months, it'll work.
They were saying there's potential that they can put very small solar chips on them.
But that would be
You
great.
know, I mean, that's certainly one of the potential deals they were talking about. So, yeah.
I know I would be all for you utilizing them. It sure saved my workload a lot.
They're doing a demo project over in the Green River Valley with flashing ear tags to see if it keeps the grizzlies away. Sounds like a dinner bell once you try it.
Oh, flashing, look at that thing flashing.
There it is.
He's buzzer.
Okay, yeah, thank you for attending that for me.
Yeah, it was
Appreciate
very interesting.
Commissioner, right?
I got nothing at the moment.
Okay. Just a note to folks, we have a preliminary approval from the Water Development Office, or with the Water Development Office for the Lake de Schmidt project. So we'll start the next kind of 8 months of consultant selection process. Pretty slow process, but first step was a good one. So, and then I will be out Friday as well. All right. Moving on to our quarterly update, we've got Walker Bullocks here, leading test.
Good morning, Commissioners. Walker Billings, Cherry County Weed and Pest Supervisor. It's been kind of a busy spring, just because the weather's been so good that we've been able to get kind of an early start on a bunch of things. So keep them busy. We have our 9 seasonals hired, so 2 of those will be dedicated to spraying the county roads. 2 of them will be dedicated to the Forest Service and the elk fire impacts, and then the rest of them will be working on private land leafy spurge spraying. We've begun all of our sales and all of our rental equipment programs for the year just in these last couple of weeks. Seeing a lot of traffic, a lot of people coming in, weeds are coming up. We're gonna be on pretty high alert for grasshoppers this year. We had a small outbreak of grasshoppers last year, but there was so much grass to go around that we didn't really have too many complaints because, you know, even after the hoppers moved through, there's still plenty of grass for cows. This year with the weather, I think even if we have kind of a moderate grasshopper outbreak, it's going to be high impact. So we're going to devote a lot of time to that. We have people from the USDA coming up to help us do surveys here in the next month or so. And then by mid-June, we'll have an idea of whether or not we'll have to do any kind of big treatment programs or anything like that. We've already been doing a lot of our springtime monitoring for mosquitoes. We haven't picked up any of the mosquitoes that carry West Nile virus yet, but we're expecting it to be a decent year for them because we're finding a lot of larvae of those West Nile virus mosquitoes. Like I mentioned, we'll have 2 seasonals dedicated to the Forest Service, so we'll be pretty busy up there. We just got a new contract with them, disaster relief funding to do work on the Forest Service land and adjacent private property that was impacted by the Elk Fire. So I have that contract set on my desk, just need to sign it when I get back. And hopefully that'll be helpful to folks who were impacted by the fire and live next to the Forest Service. Just thinking about this summer, I think the dry winter is gonna just exacerbate a lot of the weed problems that we would normally have, so it'll be, of course, a busy year for us, trying to stay responsive to those issues. And then I submitted our budget to you guys the other day, and you might notice when you look through it, it looks a little bit different in the past couple of years. We have broken out into a lot more detail. A lot of our we're budgeting on more of a program level, so our chemical sales program, our leafy spurge program, our annual grass program, instead of just the big programs as chunks, which will just give us more information on kind of how we can budget and make better sense of the money. But that a lot of that information is contained in a separate Excel sheet because the Department of Audit sheet is just kind of a pain.
Atrocious.
It's awful.
The budget that you guys see will be more simplified than it has been in the past, but the sheet that we work with and my board works with is way more detailed and expanded than it had been in the past. That's all I have.
Walker, I might bug you while you're here to go maybe look at 3 poles for me.
Yeah.
I've got,
We went out there a couple weeks ago and there was already some food coming up, but
okay,
there's a lot less of it than there was a couple years ago.
great. I do have money for that in our grant this time,
Okay.
so.
Good to know. Yes, that is on the list for this next couple weeks.
Awesome, thank you. All right, that's it, appreciate it, Walker.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we are adjourned at 9:37.